So right now the Ghost is on the Azusa bike, and the Azusa bike has around a 10.5-inch tall tire, so a super short tire, and a 4-to-1 ratio, 15 on the clutch and 60 on the rear sprocket. And the bike did 52.52 top speed. Alright, Ghost did 52.52 and 4.39 0 to 30. A 4.39. But the thing is, at 52.52 miles per hour, the valves start floating in the 6,000 RPM range, around 6,600 RPM or so. So to see if I can get some more RPM out of this engine without swapping out the valve springs, I'm going to install these valve shims to increase the valve spring pressure. I already have the head off the engine, so it should be a pretty easy install. So we'll see if we can increase the RPM potential of this engine just by installing valve shims. And we'll go ahead and take it out for a 0 to 30 and top speed and see if we can beat 52.52 and 4.39 0 to 30. Go ahead and pull these lash caps off of here. What's cool about the Ghost head, it has automotive style retainers, which make it nice. All right, so I got to kind of cant this head a little bit because the valve springs are at an angle, and when you put the tool on here, it wants to slide off. So anyway, let me remove these automotive style retainers here. One, two. Yeah, it's nice. You can make a tool out of this spark plug removing tool. It comes with a Predator 212. Just grind a little slot in it. So anyway, so there we go. So these are some pretty thick shims, like 93 thousandths. The cam's only a 252 lift, so we're not going to run into any valve spring or valve spring bind. And these springs on the Ghost are 98 thousandths as far as the spring itself goes, and 72 to 73 thousandths is a 22-pound spring, and then around 69 or 70 thousandths is a 10.8 spring. So these seem like they're probably 26-pound springs. So let's pop these retainers and springs back in here. Okay, there's one of them. Got the shim down in there. I'm gonna get to the other side. Yeah, there's still plenty of room between the valve springs, so definitely not gonna have any coil bind. Yeah, with these stock valves, it's probably on the outer limits of the valve springs, so we'll see if it can handle the extra pressure. There's one way to find out. Pop this one down in here. Okay. All right, so there we go. Got both the shims in there. So now I'll pop this head back on there and we'll see what happens. So while we're at it, we might as well install some head studs in the Ghost. So just in case I want to swap out heads again, it's not hard on these threads. I'm always swapping stuff all the time. Also, while I'm at it, I might as well throw on a 10 thousandths head gasket to bump the compression up a little bit more. While I'm in here, might as well. So I'll throw a 10 thousandths gasket on here. Torque down this head. Now I'll install these lash caps. Push rods. Rocker arms. Intake side. Drop a little Loctite on this bolt right here for the little bracket that holds the rocker arms down. Get this thing over to top dead center and set this lash. Get it right past that compression release right there. Set these things to 3 on both sides. See if that'll do it. Okay, so there's 3. Make sure 4 don't fit. And if 4 don't fit, we're good. Let's see if a 4 fits in there. Nope. Okay, there you go. There's one side. Set this side to 3. Okay, can't get a 4 in there, so we're good. Everything's good to go. Little bracket there is just tight. All right. Install this plate they have on the Ghost. Might as well. So we'll put everything back on there. Go ahead and throw the insulator on here. Carb. All right, this thing going back together pretty easy. Now we'll see if it runs without breaking the tip off a valve for excessive valve spring pressure. We shall see. Put this slide back down in here. Header pipe and a spark plug, and I think we're good. Install this fuel line on here. Header pipe. Install the plug in here and we should be good. Got the head back on there. This thing should have more compression now with that thin head gasket. So we'll take this thing out for 0 to 30 and top speed and we'll see what it does. We'll see if it floats the valves anywhere near 52 miles an hour. If anything, the compression might give it a little bump. Without floating the valves. It seems a lot better. It doesn't float the valves at all now. I think that made a big difference. Oh yeah, 55.60 made a big difference. That's exactly what the Ghost needed. It was quite a bit faster, zero valve float. It reached all the way to the top RPM. So with no shims, the Ghost did 4.390 to 30 and 52.52, but with valve float. Then I added the shims and I did 4.45, less than a tenth of a second difference. I mean, you really can't tell on the bike the difference, but man, it gained a lot of top speed, 55.60. So the valve shim's definitely what the Ghost needed. It goes all the way to the top RPM or maximum RPM with no drama, no valve float, and it was quite a bit faster. So for just a few dollars, it's definitely a worthwhile mod on the Ghost.